Wait. Start. Is this a started? This is a thing?
This has started.
Are you mixed Red Bull whiskey?
Yeah.
Kind of a slut for a Belgian triple.
Mechanic, yeah. I can't say that word.
You said it great, dude.
Other words.
Mid-Atlantic?
Yeah. Mid-Atlantic.
Mid-mechanic?
Mid.
Oh, man.
I am not a mechanic. I am not a mechanic.
It's always a good day at Tennessee on Tap.
Welcome back to Tennessee on Tap. This is Season 2, Episode 1. I'm joined with my friend Matt as we go down to Cedar City Brewing in Lebanon, Tennessee. We sit down with our friends Cody and John from the brewery, and we talk about a lot of things. We talk about beer, we talk about food, talk about environment. It's a great episode. There's a lot in it. So here we go. So Cody, what got Cedar City started?
Sure. Well, as far as getting started is, I think it was a whirlwind of events that happened.
Okay,
So, my two business partners, they had purchased this building with the intent of a different concept, and I don't really know exactly how it unfolded. I think just a lot of different things. Like I said, just a series of events. But the night that they purchased, or the day that they purchased the building, it actually flooded.
Oh, wow.
Downtown, and the building was under 48 inches of water.
Wow.
And it was kind of an incredible and a heartbreaking moment for them, I'm sure, considering they just made that huge investment in purchasing the building.
Yeah.
But right around that time, I had moved back to Lebanon with my wife, and the conversation of a brewery had also been happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. And again, it just unfolded to where it went from, I think, an idea to reality, and it was like, well, what do, and they were going to do this. I think the idea was like, they were doing this without me, right? Like they didn't necessarily need me to be involved at the time. And so I immediately started thinking to myself, like, hey, this is something I've wanted to do my entire, for probably like the past 15, 20 years. And that's kind of another story, but so I started really pitching to them. I said, hey guys, I want to be involved in this. Like, how do I get involved? What do I need to do?
Right.
And again, kind of positioning myself, like, here's what I can bring to the table, and again, after a series of events and several conversations, we found ourselves in this building, demoing the building, gutting it out, and all of a sudden, this conversation, at least on my end, right? This conversation went from, just casual to like, holy cow, like this is happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you've had this vision of a brewery for a long time?
Yeah. So I had moved to Seattle in 2010.
Okay.
And that's where I met my wife. She's from West Seattle, and
I've always wanted to go out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Well, especially for the craft beer world. Right? Or the scene there is absolutely amazing. But it was the first time. Well, let me back up. My experience with craft beer up until that point was Yazoo.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had some craft beer here and there, but for the most part, local craft beer was Yazoo.
Yeah.
Definitely, I had imported beer, things like that. But at the time, I was drinking domestic beer.
Yeah.
That's all I drank was domestic.
Right.
Coors Light, Bud Light. Rolling Rock on a hot summer day on the lake.
Them big 24 to 30 pack.
Right. Yeah. And so I moved to Seattle, and it was my first real introduction to a beer festival. It was in Capitol Hill, and there were probably 90 breweries. And this is like a normal day. This wasn't even like a major beer festival. It was like just a normal day.
Pop up.
Just a pop up. And there's like 90 breweries posted up in the middle of this park. And at that time, it just absolutely blew my mind. And ever since then, I'd always had a conversation. You'd be hanging around the bar or at the house with some friends drinking a beer, and next thing you'd start talking about how awesome would it be to either at least work in the industry, in addition to actually, running a brewery. So,
that's exactly how this podcast actually started. Was it was my co-host Kenny and myself sitting at where we work at Prince Street in Gallatin, and we're like,
man, you talk a lot about beer and you like a lot of beer. Like, it would be really cool if we got a podcast going. And, a year later, I think I launched it, and then we're like, hey, man, like, we're doing a thing now. And he's like, wait, really? So we got into it, and, I mean, it's crazy how things like that do happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what made you go all the way out to Seattle? Are you originally from Tennessee?
Yeah, born and raised here in Lebanon. In fact,
Nice.
I've known Kyle Schaefer and Cody McCrae. I'm business partners with the brewery, and if anybody's familiar with Lebanon and the area, they also own and operate Town Square Social, which is an absolutely amazing place for food, environment, experience. Kyle and Cody, they do an amazing job with the bourbon choices over there, and they feature at least 6 or 7 Cedar City beers over there.
Okay.
And they're even adding on, a rooftop over there, which is just going to be incredible. Yeah, when you step outside, check it out.
People rave about Town Square.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't been there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I actually ate there last week. That place is awesome.
it is. Absolutely it is. And so, back to the question is, I'm from Lebanon. The reason I brought them up is because Kyle and I actually had lived next to each other.
Okay.
Maybe I was like 11 years old.
Okay.
We have known each other that long, and Cody and I have known each other for probably 20 plus years. He and Kyle have been, we're very close, very good friends even before Town Square, and they've been business partners ever since they started Town Square.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's a lot of connectivity, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, in our logo, and I'm happy to answer more questions about this, but our logo, if you look at it, the hop tree is upside down. On the we call that the hop tree, and then when we were going through the branding process of our logo and stuff like that,
Right.
This concept of our roots run deep kept coming up because
Right.
we have pride in our community.
Right.
We've been in the community for a long time. Our friends, our family, high school, college. I mean, businesses, right? Anything that you can think of is right here in our hometown.
Heck yeah.
And so that's it's been very important to us.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the logo next because I was like, the hop is upside down.
Yeah.
So Cedar City just because Cedar City or Cedars of Lebanon
I
and
think
all that? Or?
I think Cody had called me. I think he had thrown around, him and Kyle were throwing around a couple of different ideas for names.
Okay.
And Cody called me one day and he says, man, what if we just call it Cedar City Brewing? And I was like, man, I love that. I actually love that. It represents the community. It places us, hopefully, as a staple and represents the community well, and I think having a name that also, is again connected to, everything that happens here, such as, our state, Cedars of Lebanon State Park.
Right.
Being right here in the middle of the square, I think it was the perfect decision.
Yeah.
For the name.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It I've been here. This is my second time here.
Yeah.
The first time I came with a bunch of regulars from the Pizza and Pub, and we're trying to like branch out and go do other stuff because we've all been closer friends, and came here, and the vibe here was, the staff is great, the beer's great, the food's great, everything about this place is like screaming that it's like, hey man, like get a recording there or something, or
Absolutely.
at least try to. So I definitely appreciate you guys letting us do this.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask?
Well, I'll add a few things to that. So when we first started, I was, I had this idea, like, in my mind, I'm like putting the beer on a pedestal,
Right.
And saying, man, we need to it needs to be featured. The beer needs to be number one, and I think I was a little naive going into the restaurant industry, and Kyle and Cody with their background and experience, they were big proponents on making sure that we had a great curated food menu.
Mm-hmm.
And through the process, again, going into this, I'm like, man, it's got to be all about the beer. It's got to be all about the beer. And while it still is about the beer, 100%, like that is hands down important. And John, our brewer, does a fantastic job of brewing beer.
Yeah.
But you have to have the full experience. You can't just have beer and have crappy food. You can't just have mediocre beer, no food, and no atmosphere.
Right.
Right.
It's a package.
It's a package deal.
Yeah, I mean the places that have everything like that. I mean, you have all these places that are popping up, breweries everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to get into the beer business.
Yep.
But when they don't have one of the three, it
Throws it off.
It throws it off.
Yeah.
And I see why. I mean, the emails back and forth. You said 12:30. It's gonna get busy. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, no, it's. I mean, it's pretty busy in here.
Yeah,
I mean, you
sure.
can. Listeners can hear all of the noise that's happening behind us, and yeah.
Well, in addition to this whole package, this experience that we try to provide, so we have our mug club members. We have like 240 mug club members, and they are diehard regulars. They are brand advocates.
Did you say 240?
Yeah, 240 mug club members. Yeah, absolutely. So when you go towards the kitchen in the back, you'll see our wall, and everybody has their own cubby. And we've done a couple of really unique things with them. But they have the front row seat, and or at least the first one to say no and write a refusal for anything here, right? Any of the events we do, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is we have comedy night once a month that sells out. We've been doing this for 2 years, and we've sold out almost every single comedy show for 2 years.
Wow.
We do, our annual beer festival that comes up. This is our 3rd year doing the beer festival. The city, by the way, has been absolutely amazing, trying to help us get that established here. And then,
when is that festival?
Yeah, this year's going to be October 4th.
October 4th.
Yeah, October 4th. We'll make sure you guys get some tickets. So yeah, for sure. But again, just having that whole package. So food, beer, atmosphere, events, right? And the idea is that when people walk into the front door, we want them to be blown away, which I feel like they are already. I mean, you walk in, you get a front row seat into the world of craft beer looking at our brew system.
Right, yeah.
But you come up to the bar, you talk to our amazing staff, who then, offers a flight of beer. You order some food, you drink your flight, you decide on what beer you want, you order a pint, and then you go to tab out. You maybe sign up for our email list while you're here.
Yeah.
You follow us on social media, then you buy some merch on the way out, man, and that's kind of the full experience, and then you come back, and that's what we want. We want people to have that full experience.
Yeah, I was completely blown away. I didn't think really. I mean, a lot of people in Gallatin when I was bartending, a lot of people talked about this place, and I just never had the chance to come down. And as soon as some group of people was like, "Hey, we should all go down there," I was like, "All right, let's go." Walked in, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like this is a vibe. Like I thoroughly enjoyed just like being here. I know we're kind of tucked in a corner, but still, even like here, it's still this place.
I gotta say, I feel more comfortable tucked in the corner because I'm completely blown away by this place. Like I said, last week I went to town social over there, and as me and my girlfriend were leaving, I looked over and I was like, man, I'd really like to go see that brewery. And then David just happened to, like, a day later be like, do you want to go do the podcast with me? And I was like, I got you, man. Walking in the front door, it was nothing like I expected. Like, you can see where they're making the beer, then you go up the menu. I don't even know what I want. Like, everything looks so good. Yeah. The beers, y'all all, like, immediately had so many beers that I like style-wise. I had the Juiced by the Lake.
Juiced by the River.
Juiced by the River.
Yep.
Solid little hazy IPA.
Yep.
Right now I'm drinking the Skeptic Monk.
Yeah, the Skeptic Monk. Quick story about it. So we did a collaboration with Skeptic Meadery in Mount Juliet. Okay. And Matt Locke is the brewer, or the I don't even. What is the proper terminology for a meadery?
I should know that.
A meaderist? I don't know.
I guess you're brewing.
You're
brewing.
A
meaty boy.
There you go.
Meaty boy.
Yeah. So he came out. Him and John, they came up with the idea. He brought, I think it was like 5 pounds of local honey. Kyle actually is a huge advocate of like Belgian triples, and so it was one of those things where look, it hit all the bullet points. Local. Yeah. Collaboration,
right?
And a beer that we all.
It's.
That
I mean, that's
really
what it
enjoy.
is. Local. It's. I have the same. a lot of us have those same bullet points
Yeah.
where it's local and it's community.
Yeah, exactly.
Because y'all are
100%.
coming together to do something. That's
Yeah.
I mean that's such a big part of something I stand for a lot.
Yeah.
Is just that I do as much local as I can. You know, obviously local honey. I mean, it's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
All the pollen coming down now, springtime.
Yep.
I know it's in beer, but you know it's got to work.
Yeah, it balances out.
It's
Yeah.
great. I knew you would pick this one. I've had this before.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, grab me another beer. And he said, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know. Surprise me. I knew he was going to
David knows my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Belgian triples.
Belgian triples are amazing. They're sweet. They just fill you up. They're always 9 to 10%.
Absolutely.
They're exactly what you want in a beer. They're exactly what I want in a beer.
They're great.
They're great.
They're wonderful.
Absolutely.
Nice. You got anything else, man? Like I
mean, honestly, I got tons of stuff. I mean, there's so many cool things, not just here, but on the square, it's happening.
Yeah.
The downtown area is absolutely thriving.
Right.
We've got it's I'm plugging some of the other restaurants, Lebanon Public House and Olivia's and Island Bistro. Obviously, Town Square Social. I mean, that's number one. That's
Nashville Hot Chicken Place.
the
like
Nashville
over
Hot
here.
Chicken Place right around the corner. So I'm of the opinion that rising tides lifts all ships, and
absolutely.
and I feel that that is happening on the square.
Nice. Yeah, that's what we're here for, man. It's
Yeah.
great. Great atmosphere, great vibe. We're loving it.
Talk about some beer, man. You're on this mic over Chaw.
Over Chaw. Sorry about the wires. Small space, a lot of noise. We'll see how that works.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah. Can you hear yourself?
I can, and it's weird.
I know. Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
I don't get it. It's weird hearing your own voice, especially exactly when you say it.
How
What's up, fellas?
how you been?
Good.
How you
Excited.
been? Excited?
Yeah, and wore out as well.
How long was you still technically in the process or?
Yeah, today I just harvested yeast, and I got to count it. I'm just cleaning it up afterwards.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of brewers either do new pitches,
Yeah.
dry pitches, or whatever. I like to actually harvest the yeast and reuse it over and over again.
Yeah,
Saves money. Also, especially counting it, accounts for like a lot of consistency with the beers and stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've been through all that process before, and it's
fun.
It's actually great seeing you. I haven't seen you since that day.
Since Brad back in the day.
Yeah,
maybe?
well, the hoot and holler.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hoot and holler, the Belgian on aged oak chips.
Y'all still doing that?
Half batch is brewing form right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's.
Are y'all still doing the party though out there on the land?
Yeah, we still do all that. And
Yeah, it was a good old time. Although the people I set up tent next to didn't go to sleep at all, so I heard them all night long.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I woke up and they're still partying at like 7 in the morning. I was like, man.
Yep, sounds about right. That's why I go kind of where that curve is right before you see the building.
Mm-hmm.
I go like all the way out there.
Yeah.
And I set up a huge area of like, so all the like my like regular people, all my regular friends, and not like the party people, can just like come crash over there and like still chill around like a little area, beers.
I remember
food.
I drove a little Volkswagen Jetta at the time, and it made it all the way back there through like 3 creek beds and rocks and everything else.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a good time there.
Great. So you are head brewer here at Cedar City.
I am.
How's it feel?
It's great. I love this town. My last job was at Yeehaw Brewing Company. The stress of the drive every day down I-24 was a headache.
Right. That's a big part of it. Yeah.
I loved the company. They're an awesome company to work for, but traffic got to me after a while. Literally every day was like 3 hours
It's a
worth of
headache.
driving.
It
Yeah.
doesn't take long for it to start affecting how you feel going to work, and then that feeling affects how you're doing everything else.
Yep. And then I had a buddy, Zach, contact me and was like, hey, Cedar City's actually looking for a new head brewer. So he got me in contact with the owners and then interviewed with them within a week and hired me a week later.
Nice.
Yeah. So I love it here. I love the small town feel. especially like being like a brew pub style to where I can talk to the customers, get to know all the regulars, and get feedback for the beer and all that stuff. So that's super cool. It's like a community here.
Yeah. Matt, how's the feedback on the beer?
So do you make all the beer?
I make 100% of them, even the
100% of the beer.
even the seltzers and the ciders.
For those of you that are listening, I'm holding up a clipboard now.
Uh-oh.
So I've had the Juiced by the River, the hazy IPA.
Yeah.
That is a solid IPA. Now, can I ask you, as a brewmaster, what's like the difference between like the whole East Coast, West Coast IPA?
West Coast, so we also have a West Coast on tap. West Coast is more of a, it's got like a maltier backbone. It's also more of a kind of a balanced IPA. So like more of the hops, more of the malt, balance it out that way. It also typically is more bitter than East Coast hazy IPA. It's also a different style of hops. It's more like danky, piney, West Coast, like Cascade and Centennial.
Is like where the hazy IPAs come in. Is that more of like the East Coast thing?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's.
I love a nice hazy IPA. Like they are just juicy and good to me.
They got the name New England IPAs. I guess that's where it was created in New England. But yeah, it's basically you don't add hops until the very end to cut out the bitterness.
I've only had 3 of y'all's beer. I had the Juiced by the River, the Skeptic Monk, and I'm drinking the Amber Lager now. That Skeptic Monk, though.
Yeah, it's a 9%er.
I'm kind of a slut for a Belgian triple, but that was good.
I've been making that recipe. A lot of these recipes I've been making for my entire career. The Skeptic Monk, I actually originally made back at Cool Springs Brewery when that was a thing. It's no longer a thing anymore. Made it there. I can't remember what we called it there, but it was a hit. I've made it ever since. So the reason we call it Skeptic Monk is right down the road in Mount Juliet, there's a meadery called the Skeptic Meadery, and we were trying to do a collaboration with them, but we don't have a winery license or like a mead winery license to make mead. Yeah, and then they didn't have a brewery license, so I was like, well, how are we gonna collaborate? So what we did, we just came up, made this recipe, and then we used their honey. So like typically Belgian triples, you'll use like a Belgian candy syrup in it. Instead of that, we use their honey.
Okay.
It's the same concept as Briar Scratch Half Batch make Simcoe Triple. Yeah, they use a local honey on their Belgian triple instead of
Don't
candy.
you disrespect it. You remember its name.
Well, can't say it on there.
Simcoe Triple is one that David knows gets me in trouble. We
both get in trouble
Street
with
every
it.
now and then. David taught me how to make it into a shandy, and then legal troubles started.
People ask, like, I get asked a lot, like, why don't you make a shandy for the summer? And I'm like, shandies are typally half lemonade, half beer. And I'm like, if I make a 310-gallon, which is a 10-barrel batch, I was like, tell me where to find 150 gallons of lemonade to put in there.
Right.
Oh, dude, like, they sell these things, it's like a tub of powder. And you just mix it with
we do the old school way.
Buy like 100 of them.
Well, it's one of the drinks that I make for like the summertime. If I have like a party or something at the house, and I happen to have these Belgian triple 10% beers, cutting them with some pink lemonade kind of makes the night go a little bit longer.
Yeah,
now, don't let him fool you. We'll also do that on a Tuesday if I go over his house.
It will happen.
That.
Definitely on Tuesday.
And like our bar has like the little gun,
the
soda
little
gun or whatever,
lemonade,
and there's lemonade on that, so like anybody can mix any beer they want with lemonade. So
I know what he's going to do in about 20 minutes.
I was like, whoa.
Little Shannon, you gotta try the Belgian triple with some lemonade.
It's great. I mean, it's...
Now I can tell him that the brewmaster told me I should try that.
Yeah.
It's recorded.
We have people mix beers all the time too, like the Dragon Goose, Goza, and the pineapple cider.
Oh yeah,
half and half. Apparently goes really good together.
Nice. What's so? I always find it difficult to have like favorite beers. Do you have a favorite style?
So I get asked that a lot. The way I think of, I typically drink IPAs and sours and stouts.
Okay.
But being a brewer that needs a paycheck, you always have to cater to the crowd, what they want to drink, you know.
Right.
So I call them money makers, you know, like, so typically light lagers are always a money maker. So we have 6 or 8 year-round beers, and those are all like the very crowd-pleasing beers that everybody drinks. Those are the top sellers. Then I have an extra 8 taps or something like that I can play around with. As far as my favorite beer, I get asked it all the time, and the one in my hand is my favorite one. You know,
I mean, that's the
what we all
greatest
say.
answer.
Yeah.
That is the best answer one could have of the question. What's your favorite style?
Yeah.
Do y'all make any brown ales? Like, I personally, my favorite style of beer is like a nice brown ale.
Yeah. We made one, I think it actually just ran out recently. It was a chocolate hazelnut brown.
Yeah, I've had it.
Yeah.
It's great. It was great.
Damn.
Yeah. And so, like, it's hard to sell just a base brown ale. I love them myself, but as soon as you start getting weird with it and adding the ingredients, people are like, ooh, I want the hazelnut beer, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like, one of my favorite beers is the Cottontown Brown that was made by Briar Scratch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just a solid, like, just a smooth little brown ale.
Yeah.
I also really like Southern Grist's being their brown that with, like, the heavy vanilla taste to it. Really good brown ale.
I'm a big fan of Blackstone's nut brown ale or whatever.
Oh,
yes.
God, I miss that beer.
God, my boy talking dirty to me.
I
over
can't.
here.
We can't get
in the
that
grocery
beer.
stores.
We
Yeah.
can't get that beer in Gallatin because of the whole merger of distribution and all that happened. So I can't. Yeah, at Prince Street, like I can't order Blackstone. I can't order.
We can't get the nut brown ale, but we can get 1,000 different seltzers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't get that. Can't get Mill Creek. Can't get Yeehaw. Can't get. Who's the other big one that everybody has?
Is it all from the same distributor?
Bud Light.
It went from like Ajax and all that to TriStar and then a bunch of other stuff.
You didn't want Ajax. That guy's just Francis anyways.
Yeah, speaking of seltzers, not my favorite thing to make, but got to do it.
Got to.
There's a very small market for it. We don't sell a lot of them, but got to have variety, I guess.
Yeah, why not? I had, the first time I was here, she mixed, there was a female walking around checking on tables, and I told her, just surprise me. And she was like, what do you mean surprise me? I was like,
Did she give you a seltzer?
well, no, I asked. I was like, if you were allowed to drink right now something from over there, pour me that.
Yeah.
Like what you're thinking right now. Like what's your after shift, whatever. Like, and she poured me a half and half of the ciders. Mm-hmm. I guess it was a pineapple in the apple.
That's just normal.
And it was,
cider.
I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
One good thing about we've only been selling liquor for about a year. Before that, it was just beer. But one fun thing about having liquor on tap is you can, like, we have a bunch of like beer cocktail type things.
Yeah.
So like the pineapple cider, if you get a shot of coconut rum in it, it tastes just like a pina colada, basically.
Wow.
And so yesterday we just released one of our summer seasonal seltzers, which is a lemon lime seltzer. And I'll probably get sued for this, but like literally it's a lemon lime seltzer. So I made a seltzer base, and like, you know, the sodas, like bag in a box syrups or whatever.
Yeah.
I just buy a bunch of Sprite syrup, cut off the corner, put it in the batch.
I mean, that's a way to, I mean, cake condition.
So
right?
Yeah. So,
Don't worry, Bill. You won't get sued for this. David will.
So the lemon lime seltzer is literally just an alcoholic Sprite. But that same thing with that shot of coconut rum that we call it lime in the coconut or something like that. It's awesome.
Wow. That sounds
That's actually
fantastic.
awesome.
For a 78 and higher degree day.
Yeah.
You get to a point where they start selling them too soon.
Yeah.
All the distributors, Oktoberfest or pumpkin beer comes out in August.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's weird.
Also, I gotta ask you this, because you're like making beer through all this throughout the day. Are there just like always people here? Like this
Always
place
people here.
has been packed since we got here.
Yeah, I get here at 8 in the morning, so from like 8 until 11 o'clock when we open, it's just me and a couple employees.
Trust me, as
Yeah.
somebody that preps in a kitchen, it's a beautiful time.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the time to yourself that is getting ready for the day.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we're especially Friday weekends and stuff. We're always packed, which I personally hate because I feel like I'm like in an aquarium over there. Like especially people that sit on this railing.
Don't tap on the glass. Don't tap on the glass.
They're just staring at me the whole time, and I'm just like, man.
So when you're in here at 8, are you the first one that gets here?
Yeah.
What's your prep like? Like, what do you do, and what do you listen to, or whatever?
I was going to say
prep?
the very first thing I do when I walk in is turn on music.
What do you turn on?
Typically rock. So we have like a bunch of different playlists that we tried to stick to because, you know, we don't want employees playing NSYNC and random stuff like that. So
Did you say NSYNC?
Yeah.
Just against NSYNC?
I
You-
can hear Tyler Childers right now.
Are you on the Backstreet
So I'm
Boys
like-
side of this argument? Like
that was one of the termination points is when it was a busy weekend and one of the owners came in and they were blaring NSYNC and he was like, all right, from now on we're gonna have a set playlist.
that makes me very happy to know.
Wow. That's hysterical. I love that. I do.
Yeah, but typically rock, man. You know, either that or like I'll put on like Phoenix radio or like Glass Animals radio. You know, something to jam to. And then I just get to work, man.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm the opposite. I am currently trying to watch like 600 episodes of One Piece, the anime. So I just walk into work, start coffee, turn that on, set my phone down,
There
and
you
listen to as many episodes as I can get through while I prep.
You got to get one of those. What are the Apple like glasses?
Oh,
Just,
nobody
has
wants me
this
to have that. I
screen.
would never take it off.
He would never take it off.
If I could watch One Piece 24 hours a day, like
He would. He'd find a way. Yeah, he doesn't need that. Heck yeah, man.
You guys gonna take a tour here in a bit?
Yeah, we can.
There's not much to see there, but like.
I mean, there's a lot to see.
The building's cool as well.
I just love how it's kind of just open.
So you can stare at me work.
100%. If you've never been to this place, everyone out there in the internet worlds should come check this place out. There's stairs everywhere. There's a whole upstairs section. There's TVs. Right now we're watching March Madness because that's a thing. It's crazy.
Oh, that's
We also got a
here.
third story that we just renovated into an event space as well. So it's
So
got
does
its
that
own.
mean if somebody like wants to have an event, they just gotta like call you guys and they can rent out a whole
Yep.
space?
Yep. It's the size of the whole,
Advertising.
almost the whole building.
Thanks, man.
It has its
Sorry,
own
the 9% beer did me in.
has its own bar and everything up there.
This is
so
why I
you can-
asked him to fill in with my.
Yeah.
my fillings.
The show gets more interesting though.
He has his own podcast,
Nice.
and it's very different.
Oh. No beer. Is there
it's-
beer involved?
No, there's not. Well, there
Not
is
even
beer
drinking?
involved because the two guys I are on a podcast with are alcoholics. One of them has a chilada. The other one has an alcoholic tea. Every single podcast, we just talk about nerd stuff, the weather. I talk about animals that scare me, and then one of my friends that knows nothing about sports talks about sports.
Perfect. It's
It's called the Better Cast with a K.
Yeah.
we'll get into that a little bit.
Well, I'm not gonna not name drop now that I've had 3 beers.
That's right. I'm down for a tour.
Yeah.
You able to?
Yeah.
You able to give a little tour?
Absolutely.
Are beers allowed?
Oh, absolutely.
We're
Sweet.
gonna
I'll
get
have
a
to get
tour,
one
and
myself.
you guys aren't.
Yeah. So cool. We'll be right back. So we've had how many beers?
It's my 4th.
Okay. What beers have we had, Matthew?
So, I have had, well, both of us got the Juiced by the River Hazy IPA, and
Yep.
then the Skeptic Monk Belgian Triple, and then on our 3rd round, I got the Amber Lager, and you got the Lake Time something, I believe.
Lake Time IPA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and now we are currently drinking,
Honeydew wheat.
it is a fruited beer.
Yeah. Full honeydew up front. Very easy to drink. I would drink a lot of this. It's a great beer. So we started with this hazy IPA. It's very juicy.
Yeah.
Not really citrusy, more tropical in the flavoring of it.
A little bit of bite on the end.
Yeah, but it's light bodied, so it doesn't really fill me up like a normal juiced IPA does. Hazies tend to feel a little bit, just the texture of it's a little weird. This one's very light. Like it was very enjoyable beer. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I don't drink a lot of IPAs, but...
I was actually shocked that you picked that as your first beer.
Well, when I do, I prefer them hazy. Don't know what it is, but
I don't always drink IPAs, but when I do, I pick.
No, a good hazy IPA is good, and it's because one of my first IPAs I ever had was actually Bearded Iris Scatterbrain, when they had the original Scatterbrain, not the double that they have now. It was like biting into a grapefruit full of citrusy. It was amazing.
Scatterbrain. I don't even think they make the Scatterbrain.
They don't. They do not make the Scatterbrain anymore, and it's very upsetting.
Yeah, they need to get onto that. I'm trying to get Bearded Iris on board to do an episode there. And I was gonna bring Jameson because I know he's a huge IPA fan.
They all taste the same except when they're hazy. They got that little bit of enjoyment for me, so that's not a me one.
Okay. What
You
about?
ever go to Southern Grist though? Take your boy.
Good to know. Yeah, we got We're trying to get these breweries, but the next one we had that we both had was the
The Skeptic Monk.
The Skeptic Monk. So, Skeptic Monk, Belgian, about 9%. It's got local honey in it by Skeptic Meadery.
Yes.
As we've kind of talked about a couple times with Cody and with, oh my God, John.
Which they were both very excited about it, and if they're excited about it and we're excited about it, obviously at some point we're going to have to try this Skeptic Meadery because, wow. That Belgian triple, like, I'm a fan. That's one of my favorite types of beer, and it was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It doesn't actually give off like the sweet honey flavoring that I thought it would. That usually these Belgians with local honey do. There's that little bit of like kind of weird earthy sweetness to it. It doesn't really give it. It's very balanced.
Yeah, it was very like just balanced. It was a great smooth flavor for me.
Yeah, John did a great job brewing that. What else? What else have we had?
The other one we both took a taste of was
the Wee Heavy, the Nitroed Wee Heavy. I know you're not familiar with the Nitroed beers, but we have had a few Nitro beers on at Prince Street before that have kind of all been all over the place. We've had mostly stouts and smoked porters, and thank you so much. Appreciate that. They look great. Great. Thank you.
Our food just arrived.
Our
it
food
looks
just arrived.
amazing.
Yep. It's probably piping hot, so a few more minutes of this will be great.
You know this is a good American place because they just give you a knife stuck right in the middle of your burger.
I have taken the knife home a few times. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna take it here, but they
100%. The like drawer in my kitchen has a fair amount of like Olive Garden forks because the tri-prong fork just amazing.
Well, no, this place that I have the knife from literally gave me my burger to go with a knife on it.
Well, that's a free knife. I stole from Olive Garden.
No, I'm just saying, like, they gave me a burger and I told them to go, and it came out on a plate. And I was like, I said this was to go because I was just trying to pick up food and leave. So all they did was take the burger off the plate and the fries, put it in the to-go container, but kept the knife in the burger and then gave it to me with it open. And I said, well, now I'm taking the knife.
So two-part response to that. One, it is 100% stealing. Two, it's exactly what I would do.
How is it? They gave it to me in a to-go container.
Well, I don't know, but I guess they'd expect you to leave it on the table if you were, like, there enjoying your time. I don't know. It's really weird that they put it in the burger. I'm not going to lie there.
So I don't understand. But, What else do we have? We've had I've had the Lake Time.
Yeah, you had the
Lake Time IPA, very light-bodied IPA, a little bit of a hop forward flavor, but wasn't something I would expect. Like, honestly, it tastes like a traditional Pilsner, where it was very light in body, light in flavor, but it gives you the aroma of that hop as you're drinking it, where you're like, wow, this is an IPA. But it drinks like it would be a Pilsner.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
When you had that one is when I had the Amber Lager, and your description was much better than mine is going to be, because it was amber in color, and I'd like to say it was amber in taste. In like a good way. I'm not shitting on this beer. Like it was a good beer. Like it was amber in taste.
All right, let's dissect that a little bit. Try and expand your beer knowledge a little bit.
Okay, so it tasted like fall.
Fall. Okay, yeah. So a little bit, probably maybe toasted a little bit. A little bit of.
I also probably should not have had the 9% before that.
Wow.
Because all the flavors are running together, and it's all really good.
Just wait till we get food. It's right there looking at us.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It
No,
is.
so my experience so far at Cedar City has been, I mean, we're setting the bar pretty high doing this here.
Yeah.
Because this has been a all-around fantastic experience.
This has been a magical journey of a day. I'm not going to lie.
You weren't expecting all this,
I was
were you?
not expecting a full tour of 2 buildings and to get to look into a very scary building with some stories behind it. There was a table on the ceiling.
There's a lot of history here in Lebanon, Tennessee, and Cedar City definitely makes you feel at home, involved with the community. It's a very modern take of a old school kind of small town.
Now, I am a little upset with us. We should have taken advantage of a day and gone out to Cedars of Lebanon, played some disc golf. If you guys haven't played it, it's a great course.
Yeah, Cedar City.
I wrote it down like an hour ago. Get on my level. I just pointed to my clipboard, and I pointed at where I wrote things.
I'd like to also remind everybody that Matt is here because I asked him to be here.
Ironically enough, asked me to be here within a couple of days of me eating across the street at Town Square Social.
Yeah.
Great place. As Mark, who was the first guy we talked to?
The one that was here?
Yeah.
Cody?
Cody. As Cody said, they're actually owned by the same people. Great little lunch spot. They've got pizza, they've got sandwiches, they've got all kinds of stuff. Here soon, they'll have an event space. You should keep an eye on these people because it's insane.
Town Square is about to have a rooftop bar area, which is going to be sweet. Looks like it's going to be event space, but we'll see what happens. They also mentioned a brew fest in October, so that's October 4th.
October 4th, they'll be having a beer fest somewhere here in Lebanon. They said this is the 3rd or 4th year they've had this. Didn't know that was a thing. I'm going to come check it out.
I mean, if Kenny and I can get down here, man, I'll bring the board and all that. I'll get like a little like fold up table. We'll just set up shop.
Maybe like a better Kenny Tennessee on tap kind of
duo
kind of thing again.
Yeah, we'll talk better Kenny in a little bit.
We can see what's going on with that.
We'll talk.
I'm just saying
Kenny.
that'd be a fun collab going to a beer fest.
That would be a lot of fun. So Jameson drinks craft beer, but he only drinks that when we're at Prince, right? I feel like he's the guy that's buying gas station beer.
But at the same time, he lives next, like the closest gas station to him is the one with a good craft beer selection.
We would have to ask him what his beer choice at a gas station would be. And here we are talking about gas stations again.
It's probably going to be
Tennessee
Busch. I know a lot of people that it's Yingling, but I will say that where we live, there are a couple gas stations. that do have a decent craft beer selection.
Yeah.
The Mobile on Hartsville Pike and Airport Road, good craft beer selection. Ironically enough, the Mobile ain't owned by the same people.
By
on-
Red Carpet Liquors off
Yes,
109.
off 109.
Yes.
Also good.
Yeah. They're great selection. Really, like, I don't know. They're really nice people, and they have a great craft beer selection.
They also have like the anime energy drinks that I like, where I'll just be like, ooh, I feel like Vegeta today. Maybe I'm Ichigo. But you can get it.
Crazy. My sister just Snapchatted me, so we're going to do a little while we're recording and just, it's not even going. Hold on. Here we go. Haha.
This is a Snapchatting David's sister while we are on the podcast.
That's
My
right.
name is Matt, and this is David.
It's been a great time.
Sorry, I had to break out my radio voice, guys.
You got to do the, in a world.
In a world.
I've also been
where
really
things-
working on my like character kind of voice and all that, and I've been using a lot of Master Chief inspiration.
I know what you mean. Like, my personal favorite Master Chief line is when he's like,
I need a weapon.
It's not like that. It's more of, I need a weapon.
yeah, we said the same thing.
I need a weapon.
Shut up, man. All right, I'm getting hungry. So we're just gonna hit the pause button and hopefully it works this time.
David,
And
wait.
I need a burger.
it's me. That's the sound of David asking, "Can I have a burger?" Absolutely, you most definitely can. Hey guys, Dave Houts here. Just want to let you in on something happening later on this year. Get ready for Cedar City Brewing's 3rd annual Cedar City Fall Brewers Festival, coming this October. They're still brewing up the details, but one thing's for sure, you won't want to miss it. Get exclusive access to Tennessee's finest breweries, Wilson County's unique community of local merchants, food trucks, and live music. This event takes place in the heart of historic downtown Lebanon and overlooks Lebanon's town square for one memorable day. Tickets go on sale by the end of April, and the best way to stay in the loop, sign up for their email list at www.cedarcitybrewing.com. Be the first to get updates and early ticket access. This event will definitely sell out, and we'll see you there. Where it's not going to do the thing, Matthew.
I know, I'm kind of blown away. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back, and we just had a burger. Delicious. Matt, double patty with cheese. Some, what are they called? Chicharron? Is that the thing? It's pork rinds.
Chicharrones or pork rinds, depending on who you are.
Right. And corn.
Corn and then some kind of like cheese sauce or something.
Yeah, like some kind of queso, white queso.
Yeah, it was a super good burger. I was telling David, I was like, I have never thought about putting corn on a burger, but these people make me believe corn goes on a burger, and that's a weird sentence.
I think the quote of the day shall be, "Why do I like the corn?"
The corn was really good on the burger.
It was great. It was a great kind of texture thing. The fries, the little shoestring
the
fries
are like perfectly crispy and like tiny little fries. So it's almost like, dare I say it, a better version of Steak and Shake's fries.
Ooh.
Because they were crispier. They had better flavor.
Yeah, they do.
I
mean,
love
that-
Steak and Shake's fries, but these were like perfect shoestring fries.
That kitchen is they're doing some wonders over there. We've had an excellent experience overall. Beer, people, food.
100-year-old elevator. We've seen it all.
Yeah. So our buddy John took us around and did a tour of this building. So we got to see, how they make the beer. Their beer system's awesome. It's all fully automated or computerized. So it's just a touch screen. It's real nice.
Yeah, no,
they
that
have
was kind of crazy. Anytime I've been at a brewery, I've seen buttons, and my boy got an iPad in like a podium.
Yeah, he's able to change like lighting and all that. I've also never seen lights inside of the like grain tub or any of the any of the tanks.
I don't know what any of those are, but the big metal tubes had like lights in them, and he was just like, "Yeah, no, check us out." And he touches his like fancy iPad pedestal, and then the little crank tube with a thing in it that was like that had a light pop
rotors,
in, and then the other tube that had like a lot of nothing in it, it also popped a light on.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. We also traveled over to, I say traveled, it's literally on the other side of this roundabout that's in front of this building.
We're in the South, David. It's a hop, skip, and a jump.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump. As the crow flies. Town Square Social, also owned by the same people. We took a tour up there too. Got to see their new spot that they're building upstairs. A little rooftop action. It looks really cool.
It looks very cool. The bar lights up.
Yeah.
The beer comes out of a tube in the wall.
Yeah, so the bar is some kind of quartz where they've been able to illuminate the actual rock itself. So that's going to be like a really cool kind of concept. I haven't
you got
actually seen
excited
it
and started talking, and I thought it was going to be more about the tube in the wall because I did not describe it well, and I thought you would do better at that.
You mean the 8-inch industrial tube protruding from the wall that's covering all their beer lines?
That's what I was talking about, folks.
Yeah, so that's also cool because that's probably an insulated pipe on the inside. They're able to actually keep temperature down. It's a really cool concept. It's real nice.
And then behind the bar, if you look, they have like garage doors that open up onto a patio, and the patio overlooks the entire like square roundabout area of Lebanon. It was very nice.
Yeah, it's whole experience today has been, I think, fantastic.
And then the building that we're in here, where Cedar City is, they also have an upstairs area where they do, what was it, monthly, like,
They do comedy nights. Yeah, I think it's monthly. I think I was here, the last time I was here, it was a comedy night. And people were funneling upstairs.
Now,
but they have
did say they've like sold out the last 2 or 3. So if you are interested in a comedy night in Lebanon, I would definitely hit this place up on some form of social media.
Yeah, reserve your seats. They do have a lot of seating here. We're in the mezzanine, so we're one level up. Kind of like a little Segway area.
What the hell is a mezzanine?
That's this.
We're on a balcony, guys.
It's a mezzanine.
It's a balcony.
Mezzanine. Big words.
So
I know it hurts. It hurts.
Their windows also kind of like pop open, and there's like a guy sitting on the outside and like a lady sitting on the inside. So it's a cool little vibe up in this joint.
Look at that. They don't even know we're looking at them.
No, they don't. That guy's got super cool sunglasses and a hairline like mine.
That's what my hair used to look like.
I am bald, guys.
Wait, it's funny because that used to be me on the inside, and that's almost you now on the outside.
I know. This is us in 30 years.
I'm okay with that. This is a good spot. It's a good spot. They got good food, good beer, good vibes. What else do you want?
God, I'm hoping John's still here. Give me another tour.
Yeah, John, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? So, Matt. If y'all didn't know, Matt is one of Kenny and I's closest buddies. We try and hang out with him as much as we can.
Or I try to show up at their house when they're least expecting it.
Yeah. So, Matt is a part of another podcast called The Better Cast.
With a K.
With a K. Which is also a part of a band. Are you a band first and then the podcast?
So, David, I'm going to break this down for you. And
Please.
For those of you out there in the listening world, think of like the Charlie Day trying to like explain things with the conspiracy theory when he's in the mailroom. Just think of
Behind
that.
him?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to do, David, is I'm trying to build the Betterverse. I have a band called Better Kenny. That's Kenney. We have nothing to do with Letterkenny because we're not Canadian. So, we have Better Kenny, and we are a band. And then we also started the Better Cast because we're trying to keep BK alive. Burger King can't steal it from us when we started it.
Which is funny because Burger King's across the street.
Yeah, no, it really is. I saw their sign and almost went over there earlier. I was like, stay strong. Happy I did. This burger was way better.
So we've been featured on the Better Cast.
You guys have?
Bonus episode from season 1. So, what's the plans for Better Cast going forward?
The Better Cast going forward is we are your bi-weekly home for stuff and things. We are 3 guys with a podcast, a band, and a pocket full of dreams. That's our whole thing. We got Jam giving you sports that he knows nothing about. We have Brian explaining the weather to you because he actually knows a lot about the weather and knows what he's talking about and is trying to help people. And then we have me talking about animals that scare me. It was going to be, when we originally started, we were going to talk about like bird facts because like I don't like birds and I thought it'd be interesting to learn more about that. But then one day I went on a 3-hour-long like rabbit hole on Google and found a lot of things that I was not okay with in the animal universe. There's a lot of things the average person would not be okay with in the animal universe.
I believe that.
So I felt like it was my duty to tell people about it.
Okay.
I'm not a zoologist by any means, and I do, when people ask me questions, such as Jameson or Brian, I tend to make up those answers. But when I do my research beforehand and I'm giving you facts, those are all true facts. It's horrifying.
That's exciting. Where can our listeners find the Better Cast?
Pretty much everywhere. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on a lot of other things that I'm not sure of specifically, but you can watch us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify. I prefer watching because you see more stuff when you watch.
I would agree. I enjoyed watching the podcast more than listening to it. It was more fun, just strictly on Spotify. All
when
you do is listen
to it, you can't see how often I stare at Brian or Jameson for the comments and or just genuine ideas that they have.
The better reactions appear on the YouTube channel for sure. So, yeah, you should. Everyone needs to go
check us out. Our band itself is Better Kenny. Our first 2 EPs are out. We do have the Tire Swing Extravaganza and the Campfire Roundhouse. Both of those are just us hitting record, playing, and seeing what we come up with. It's very interesting, to say the very least.
It's definitely entertaining.
The album we're working on right now, we've decided instead of going in that kind of way, instead of trying to just like hit record and come up with crazy things on the spot, that's not always gonna be lightning in a bottle. So what we're doing on our next album is we're sitting down and we're writing songs out, and we have decided that every single song will be a different genre. It's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. So far, we have songs such as Barbecue Water, The Garbage Man Cometh, The Dark Avenger.
Right.
There's a song where we're going to help you with math. I'm going to count a bunch. There's a lot of interesting things that I think the everyday man needs in his or her life.
I have heard the Barbecue Water.
It is jazzy AF, if I do say so myself.
It's definitely catchy. Definitely catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny played it for me.
It's going to be in your head like my mom's possibly in people's DMs.
Wow. You just got deep. Which...
No, guys, it's okay. It's okay. There's a divorce between her and my dad. Like, she's not just out there hoeing it. You're good.
We're not going to unpack that one.
Well, she could be hoeing it, but they're not together, so it's safe.
We're definitely not going to unpack that whole situation here. You're checking your clipboard. What do you see?
We should talk about something else. So, David, how do you feel about the fact that the Titans have picked up an O-line and 2 edge rushers? We got a second edge rusher this morning. If I paid more attention to articles that I read, I could tell you his name. I really think the Titans are going to draft a quarterback, and I'm not okay with it. We're not.
Now would be a good time to contact producer Thomas.
Statistically, we're not good at drafting quarterbacks.
Producer Thomas, help us. Give me 1 second while I'm looking. We picked up Lorenzo Carter yesterday at 5 o'clock.
Okay. So that's our second edge rusher pickup of the season.
Yep.
We have picked up offensive line people. We've been doing a lot of different moves. They said from the beginning that offensive line and edge rush were our big two things.
Yeah.
And since then, our third thing is quarterback.
Yeah, but I think where we're at with quarterback, like I think we just need to keep with Will Levis for another season.
I personally think that's a bad idea.
Why?
3-14.
Okay, no, but
He
we're
didn't play half those games, you're right, because the 3 that we got were games he didn't play. So would you have rather gone 0-14? We still would have gotten the first draft.
Did we literally win only when he didn't play?
We won with Mason Rudolph, and then we gave him up.
Okay.
You still want to go with Will Levis? You still real strong on the Mayo man?
I'm not going to say I'm strong on the Mayo man. I don't think, honestly, I don't think this next year we're going to be that great. Honestly, 4 or 5 wins. That's it.
Okay, first of all, as a true Titans fan, as an honest-to-God true Titans fan, every single season I'm going to yell at strangers during the offseason because of how good we're doing, and I'm going to get hype. And then every single season, by the end of the year, I'm going to be shouting, it's a rebuilding year from the top of the roofs.
So what do you think needs to happen?
That'd be cool if we just sold the team and I could change franchises, maybe stick with a winner. But we're not going to do that because I'm a true Titans fan. We're getting a stadium, so that's out the window. That's not an opportunity.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to build an offensive line that's not going to let our quarterback get touched inappropriately more than anyone else.
Yeah, but if Will Levis isn't our answer, right? Why not let him just quarterback this season? Because we need to know how that offensive line is. And if he just happens to get, I don't know, we can push him off.
I would be more okay with us getting that soccer guy Messi to come in and be a quarterback than Will Levis. He has proven he cannot take it under pressure. And you know what? We should have figured that out from the fact that he only had one good season in college.
Also true. Let's just get Ted Lasso in here, man.
Let's get Ted Lasso involved. He's coached both sports. There's a 4th season that just got announced the other day.
Right? Super hyped for.
That's what I'm saying. Bring him back to football. Let him go in charge of the Titans because, I can't say that because I do believe in Brian Callahan. I think Brian Callahan is one of the best quarterback coaches.
I believe in
I feel like Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches. I feel like we just got to let them mesh, let them have some time. I feel like, if anything, we should just keep trading out GMs until we find one that works because that seems to be our strategy right now.
It doesn't matter who our GM is because they changed how that GM role is on the Titans.
Yeah, just for the Titans. That being said, though, Mike Borgonzi said he's going to get offensive line and an edge rusher, and that's the first thing he did in free agency. So I think he's got a pretty fair amount of sway.
Well, let's see what happens. I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever.
If we end up with Aaron Rodgers, I'm probably going to be like, what's Oakland's baseball team now? I'll start following them.
They don't have one.
Yeah, no, that sounds better than being a Titans fan, so I'll just go find
We could be the Blue Cheese Heads. Because
you guys can't see the look that I'm giving him right now, but it's not a good
Aaron
one.
Rodgers came from Green Bay and then went to the Jets and then...
If we get Aaron Rodgers, don't even joke like that. I will take the tires off of your truck if we get Aaron Rodgers.
Is it a bet? Or is
That's
that
not
threat?
a bet. That's a threat. If we pick up Aaron Rodgers, the next day you go out, your truck's on jacks. You heard it here first, folks. If the Titans get Aaron Rodgers, David's going to be late to work.
You know what? I don't want him. I'm not putting that juju on the Titans.
Nobody wants him.
Nobody
Two
wants him.
teams
No, he
offered
needs
him
to.
legit contracts,
He needs
and then he
to.
said, "Well, I don't know. I'm going to make him wait." The Vikings have already pulled their offer back, and the Steelers are next because their GM was like, "Hey, so you either want to be a Steeler or you don't. It's pretty much that simple."
Right. What if he goes to the Vikings and just pulls a Brett Favre?
He won't. The Vikings have already pulled back their offer. The Vikings were like, "You either want to go here or you don't." They pulled it back.
Dang.
It's looking like Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Steeler or Aaron Rodgers is going to be a coach.
What would he coach?
Something bad?
High school?
Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca. I don't know, man. Like,
I think Aaron Rodgers is well past his prime. If you're going to use Aaron
100%.
Rodgers, you have to use him as like a Phillip Rivers. You have to get him in a place where he is comfortable and he will play great at home and trash on the road. That's what happened in the Jets. He had some home games that he was right on the money with 90% of his passes.
Yeah, that sounds like that's literally the Jets' line of games. That their home games are fucking awesome. But
that was Phillip Rivers in San Diego. I 100% kept him as a backup quarterback in fantasy football when he was in San Diego because he was guaranteed 300 passing yards at home games.
Yeah.
He tore it up at home.
Where was he originally, Matt?
I don't know.
The New York Giants.
Gross.
Guess who he was traded for?
Daniel Jones.
Eli
No,
Manning.
that's right. He's a Colt now, and so the Titans will have at least 2 wins next year.
Right. So
Yeah.
Eli was the trade with Phillip Rivers. He used to be a Charger.
Oh, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just cracking up over the Colts this year.
Yeah. I'm not.
Why? It's really funny.
I don't like the Colts. I don't like Houston.
No,
I
like
don't
100%.
like the
As somebody that
Jaguars.
doesn't like the Colts, you should love what the Colts are doing right now.
Yeah, I know. They're going to be absolute shit.
Anthony Richardson is not a good quarterback, and they literally said, "Hey, you know what we should do? We should replace Anthony Richardson with an older, whiter Anthony Richardson."
And they found Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the same play style. They have the same accuracy rating. They found
Can't really
an
scramble.
older version.
They kind of can scramble. Not much, but they're not smart with how they scramble.
Yeah, no, and neither is Anthony Richardson since he got hit.
We'll find out, man. I mean, you know, winning fantasy football last year.
I hope you're ready. The curse is real, man.
I'm going last place, aren't I?
I don't know a single person that's won fantasy and then been in the playoffs the next year, in our league at least.
Dang,
I
man.
haven't hit playoffs since I won.
Dang. There is a curse, ain't there?
Yeah.
Dang.
I've been 3 years of 7 wins with no playoff berth. 3 years.
Jeez. Well, that's what we're here for, right?
No, I am actually not here to get 7th place in fantasy football every year.
No, you'll get 12th the next year.
If only. If only. Last year we did have the 12th man go on a billboard. What are you thinking this year that you're going to put up for your idea?
Man, I kind of really want the Waffle House Challenge.
The Waffle House Challenge is a good one.
It's solid, and we can all keep that person in check for it. And it's not something that I have to wait for you guys to pay for, because they were only on the billboard for 3 days instead of 4 because I didn't get all the money.
I like the idea of us keeping the person in last place in a kiddie pool for 12 hours.
Where's the kiddie pool at?
Keep it at Prince Street. That way we can have a monitor on them. Out there by the dumpster. You sit there for 12 hours.
That's pretty funny.
That's actually really funny. Throwing kiddie pool on the list this year.
I like that. I do like that. What are the other ones that everyone wanted to do? The tattoo is never going to work.
I've also thought about you have to go on a job interview.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like we get to set up a job interview for you.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm thinking Spencer's Hot Topic, something like that, especially if Granger wins. Do you know how funny that would be?
That would be good. Yeah. Yeah.
I will personally get in costume as the darkest person I can to go get an application from Hot Topic and fill it out just for Granger to go in there and do the interview.
Huh. That's a good one. I like that.
You know, that's a fun one.
That's a real fun one. Imagine if it worked, though. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you whatever money you want.
Do you really think Granger would do well at Hot Topic? That's the thing. We get to choose where they put in a job application and do an interview.
Yeah, but we have to get there first.
What do you mean?
We have to score them the interview first.
That won't be hard. You just got to, like, play up wherever you got to send whoever in to put in the application that is going to get the interview there. It's pretty easy to look. Like, okay, if we were trying to get an interview at McDonald's, we'd send in Kenny.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're saying. Yeah.
If we're trying to get a job at Spencer's or Hot Topic, we send in Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you send in the person that's going to get the interview.
Right.
So so whoever's working is like, nah, this guy, he looks like he fits the vibe here. And then they get Jason Granger.
What if it actually is Jason Granger?
I mean,
I don't know. Weird Beard would kind of fit in there.
Yeah, no, like that's what I'm saying. If Weird Beard loses, then we have Jason Granger go put in the application at a golf shop, and then Brad has to go to the golf shop to do the interview. That's what I'm saying. You send the person in that's going to get the interview.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I think we might run with that next year.
Well, if you have any ideas of what our loser fantasy football punishment should be, feel free to message us and let us know.
My name is Matt, and I am a super bad commissioner.
I don't know. We're a good team for our fantasy football league.
We do have a lot of fun in our fantasy football league. If any money goes into the league whatsoever, it goes either to the keg of beer or what the loser has to do. So It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then a little bit of an upgrade for the trophy.
So if we decide to do the interview next year, that means the league's free next year.
True.
Like last year, we did a $10 buy-in because we had to pay for the billboard that we put Nate on.
That's right. It was really funny. What siren are we hearing?
I think that's just a child crying.
Oh. Is there a train nearby? There's no way I'm picking up a train on there.
No, that's a train. That's a train. That's 100% a train. It's like...
What's it like? All right. Well, word. Those are pretty good microphones of picking up a train.
Yeah, no. Well, I think there is a train track a couple, like a block or two away.
That's insane. Anyway.
Old towns in the South, man.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Heck yeah. Well, I've had a blast today. What about you?
It has been a super good day. Had a good burger, had some good beer, got to walk through some buildings. The sun was out. We parked in the gravel.
Yeah, that was...
I probably didn't need to end with that one.
We parked wherever I wanted to park.
Did we? Because you went through the roundabout 4 times.
I wanted to park in the roundabout, and obviously that wasn't available. So, that's where we're at.
No, if you guys get a chance, check out Cedar City Brewing. It's been a lot of fun today.
100%. It's been a absolute blast. We appreciate everything Cedar City has done for us today, and we can't wait to come back and hopefully bring some friends. That would be fun if we can get back up here and get some friends up here for maybe a comedy night or just to get us together. I mean,
Something
everyone
fun.
needs to come down here.
Yeah, no,
100%.
This is a good spot.
Be sure to go check out Town Square Social as well. This is all in Lebanon, Tennessee. They're got an awesome spot for parking all over the place. There's a bunch of different kind of parking lots. So
come check out all the shops.
Yeah,
There's some boutiques. There's a guitar store. There's a bookstore.
World famous guitar store.
Yeah, no, some crazy stuff up
Guitarology,
here on the
something like that. Yeah, y'all need to just check out this area. It's a great spot. Can't wait to be back. Thank you, Matt, for joining me on this lovely journey.
No problem at all, David, and I cannot stress this enough. If your viewers don't check out Better Kenny and the Better Cast, then I don't know, but something.
Y'all should be called the Less Better better cast, right? Less better. Is that a word? Is that grammatically correct?
Least, less,
Least,
Whatever.
unbetter.
unbetter. The unbetter cast. Yeah. So, thanks again, Matt. Thanks again, Cedar City, Lebanon. This has been fantastic, and we out.
Well, that wraps up episode 1 of season 2. Want to thank my buddy Matt for joining me down in Cedar City in Lebanon. Matt is a part of another podcast called The Better Cast. Go check them out on YouTube, as well as this band Better Kenny, available on Spotify and other platforms. Wanted to thank our friends Cody and John from Cedar City for letting us stop in, have a few beers with them, talk. We had an absolute great time. I can't wait to go back. Can't wait for this festival in October. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at Tennessee on Tap. There's a little link in the bio up there if you guys still want to purchase some merchandise. Feel free to reach out to us at tnontap@gmail.com. Maybe you have a brewery you want us to go to. Maybe you want to sit down with us. Feel free. We're always answering. But remember, folks, life's too short for bad beer, so crack open a cold one with us. We're Tennessee on Tap.
This thing.
Oh, God.
Tennessee on Tap is a Tennessee craft beer podcast and is intended for a mature audience. Please drink responsibly.